Okay, well, it's Watches and Wonders time, so it is mandatory, compulsory that as a watch YouTuber, I get into it and do a whole bunch of videos. And you know what? Who am I to get in the way of that? So here we are. This is going to be my first, probably in a series of videos. I haven't had time to sit and think hard enough about any particular watch to talk about what's good, what's bad, what I like, what I don't like. That will all come later. What I want to talk about today are the four big trends I see sort of coming out of this across the entire show. Get into it after the intro. Hey, I'm Pete McConville. Welcome to my channel where, as always, I like to overthink, overanalyze, and just geek out on watches far too much. Today, what I'm geeking out about are the industry-wide trends I'm picking up from the Watches and Wonders 2024. So what I've done is I've been quickly scanning over the releases from pretty much everyone, from Alpina at the bottom through to Debethune and those guys at the very, very top. I haven't spent a lot of time stopping and thinking and sitting with any one of those designs. So I don't want to really try and get into any particular watch and talk about whether I like that watch or some other watch. That can wait. I will do that, but I need another couple of days. What I want to do though is, having looked at all of this broad sweep, what I want to talk about are some of the trends, the four big trends that I've seen sort of coming out of this show. The first, trend one, is clearly lean times are ahead for 99% of us. This will come as no surprise. For the last year, everyone's been predicting that the economies are slowing down, there's a cost of living crisis, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's been saying that this is going to impact watches. Everyone's been saying that they expected this would be a quiet Watches and Wonders. And for 99% of it, it is. You know, if you look at, Rolex gave us, I think, one new steel model, maybe a couple of date justs in there, but, essentially nothing much for your normal folk. Likewise, Tudor, likewise, pretty much every brand just gave that what I'll call the 99%, those people who are buying watches 10,000, 15,000 Swiss francs and below, the pickings were pretty slim for us. Okay, observation number two is that for 99% of people, the brands have stuck to their knitting. They have played strictly within their own swim lane. And this has been a year of consolidating the people that you have, not reaching out to new folks. So if you're Tudor, you emphasize the Black Bay and de-emphasize things like the Pelagos, because the Pelagos is kind of where new people will come to the brand. The Black Bay is where your existing folks will always are really already there. Likewise with Cartier's launches, with Alpina's launches, with pretty much Tag's launches, with pretty much every launch, it's really about, I haven't seen a single watch from a single brand which says to me, you are trying to find a new buyer. You are trying to find someone that wouldn't have already bought something from your catalog. Which I think goes hand in hand with this idea of it's lean pickings this year if you're trying to sell watches for 99% of people. So let's just focus on who we know we can sell to. Okay, so far when I've spoken about point one and point two, I've used the term 99% quite deliberately. If you are in the 1%, this is a great Watches and Wonders for you. And this is really my third point, which is, whilst for the 99% of people, now is a bit of a lean time, everyone's kind of cinching their belts in a little bit. For the 1% that didn't know how much things cost before this current climate and don't know what things cost now, who are comfortable with gems and gold and platinum and 50,000 Swiss franc and above prices, there is no issue. There are 1,000 watches for you. And everyone is going to be trying to sell you that watch. So, you want a platinum dress watch, you want a gold bar with a movement inside it, Rolex has got you covered. You want an all gold 27,000 Swiss franc Tudor, got you covered. You want a 110,000 Swiss franc, I think, might be 170,000. I can't remember. You want an insanely expensive Tudor, Tudor's got you covered. We don't have a whole lot at the low end, but at the high end, we'll go nuts for you. And I think, yeah, so this, we've really seen that in this Watches and Wonders, more than anything else that I can remember, this imbalance between a relatively quiet year at one end and an insane, go for your life, spend every cent you've got at the high end. I've never seen that so far apart. Okay, fourth and final thing. Yeah, we have definitely bottomed out in the small watch world. It is Watches did not get any smaller than the 36, 37 millimeters that we basically hit last year. There's a lot of new watches that are coming out in the 39, 40, 41, 42 size. So I think, I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago talking about how I thought the small watch trend, the timing of that was such that we were probably bottoming out, and that I was seeing signs that bigger watches were sort of coming back into vogue. And I think this Watches and Wonders kind of confirms my suspicions. A watch that really exemplified that for me was the new Hermes Cut, where during an interview with, I think it was Watches TV, the designer from Hermes was saying, this was the new Hermes Cut is primarily designed as a woman's watch, although they accept that and they anticipate that men will buy it, and they've made some provisions for that. But it's primarily a woman's watch that a man can wear, and that's 36 millimeters. So I think that gives you a really good idea of where the industry is kind of sitting now. They've kind of said, okay, 36 millimeters is core women's size and is probably the bottom of what we expect we can sell to men. And I think you see that across the board. As I said, a lot more 40 millimeter watches than you might have expected last year, and a lot less 36, 37 millimeter watches than you would have expected last year. So yeah, trend number 4, the tide is already turning on the sizing. Okay, so that's it. They're my 4 big trends for Watches and Wonders 2024. I will get into individual watches, individual brands in later videos. But yeah, that's it. What I'd be fascinated to know, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are there other big trends that you see coming out of this? I acknowledge this is like after day 1, so maybe with more analysis, we can get better. So maybe I'll back this up and do another video later.